Yo, what's up, everyone? It's KAMEone, and we're back with another sample breakdown. I believe we're on episode 8 or 9 of the series. Anyways, I wanted to break down a sample off of the new sample pack, Galaxia, which is my 13th volume of the main library. I had a hard time picking the sample that I wanted to break down, so I just picked my favorite. It's got like this kind of like a pop energy to it. It's got vocals in it. It's got like a lot of synths, plenty of synths. So yeah, I just wanted to break it down, share some secrets, show you my process and how this sample came together. So let's just dive right into it. First, I'll start out by playing the sample for you so that way you get an idea of what it sounds like in case you haven't heard it yet. So yeah, you can kind of sense that it has like a little bit of like a bright energy, but it's also got a little bit of that vintage grit that I love and I know you guys really enjoy too. So we can actually start with the first part, which is the main pad. Play that for you, soloed out, and even dry too. And this is the Prophet Ref 2. It's a bass, or it's a brass pad that was from a preset, but it sounded nothing like that. What I ended up doing was adding a lot of resonance and some modulation, playing with the filter to come up with something that kind of had a lot of movement within the pad. You can kind of hear some extra like sauce going inside of it. So I'll play for you again. It's like something's moving in there. So I thought that was really interesting. And to kind of make it fit better in the mix, to start out, just EQ, reverb, another EQ. Took out the low end because I knew I was going to introduce a bass. So I took out the low end, some compression, and EQ at the very end to kind of clean up whatever little bits I wanted to get rid of. And it actually sounded pretty good after I added the effects. It was just like a really solid base for me to kind of build on. And the next part is the OB6 bass. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Dave Smith sequential, like the Dave Smith sequential OB6, this synthesizer is a complete beast. I would say it's kind of limited with the amount of sounds that it's capable of, but I mean, in comparison to like the Rev 2 or any other synthesizer, this thing kind of has its lane, but it dominates. Like nothing quite sounds like it. It's big, it's heavy, it's aggressive, and it's perfect for bass. So that's what I use it for this, and in this composition. I'll play you the bass line, how it sounds in the mix. So for this, I actually added EQ and Decimort to kind of add a little bit of like some of like that big crushing and distortion. I think without it, it sounds a little thin, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I mean it's still heavy, so it still has that presence, but with the EQ and the Decimort, it just kind of adds like that presence and that warmth that I was really looking for. So I'll play the brass pad and the bass together so you get an idea. So that's that. And then the next part was, I kind of like market myself as being like this synth heavy producer, but I also still like regular organic instruments like the guitar, piano, Fender Rhodes, and specifically the Fender Rhodes because I own one. I try to incorporate it into all my mixes, and I try my best to play with that sound where it's not just the regular Rhodes sound that you're familiar with. I try to warp it, time stretch it, pitch it up, pitch it down, just to kind of make it sound not like its original sound, I guess. And here, simple manipulation with the pitch going up, and I do this often in my compositions where it turns like the Rhodes sound into like this creepy, eerie lead, and that's exactly how I used it in this sample. I'll play you that sound soloed out to get an idea of what I'm talking about. So it plays a small role in the sample, but it helps kind of transition into kind of like the big part of the sample. So, and to process the Rhodes, I actually, let's see, compression. For some reason, I use 2 Valhalla room reverbs, and then the star of the show, Reels. I feel like everyone is starting to pick this plugin up, which I'm glad. This plugin, I cannot say enough amazing things about it. I feel like it's one of my go-tos. It just works. It's supposed to emulate tape, and it just adds like this really nice warmth and even like LFO wobble effect to any sound that you apply it to. But it goes way deeper than that. So if you guys want, pick it up, mess with it, and let me know what you think, because I know for a fact I love it and I use it all the time. To give you an example what it sounds like without the reels and everything, I'll take all the effects off. Kind of weak. A little bit better. So move on to the next section. I guess we'll drop into like these main leads that I ended up adding. So I'll play those for you. And I believe that that's the MOOG Sub 37 lead that I played the original lead line, which is this. Pitched it down. And then I added the same thing. I made a copy of it, but then I pitched it up and layered it. And for both of those, a healthy dosage of Valhalla room reverb, reels, the EQ, and then reels again. So I can actually, so this pad I added to kind of layer on top of those lead sounds, which is kind of emulating or just duplicating what you hear in the original pad sound, just with a different, slightly different sound to kind of stack it and layer it. For that, the usual Valhalla room reverb, reels, EQ, just to kind of make it fit with everything else going on. And then added another brass pad, but more like stabs. I can play those for you. And that is undeniably the Prophet Rev 2. That is a brass pad that I made on there. And I think for that, I just added reverb. And I might even pitch that. That's damn near straight out the synth with a little bit of reverb. So we can play everything together. Oh, wait, one more part. I added vocals. I'm not much of a singer, but I felt like adding my voice in the mix helped to kind of add and make the sound feel bigger. Now, when it comes to vocals, because I don't know how to properly record my voice to make it sound super melodic or to have my voice be the main driving part of the sample, I always use it as just like little bit of like seasoning on top of what's already there. I don't want it to stand out too much, but I want it just to kind of like fit snug with all the other keyboards and synth that's already happening. So that's exactly what happened here. I just used it as like the cherry on top of all these different synth parts. So I can play this section here all layered up so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So where everything kind of layered together, it makes sense. And you'll hear like that lead. That lead is what really really separates that section from the rest of the sample. You know, it kind of adds like that memorable melodic part that everyone I feel looks for in a sample. So I'll play the lead part again so you get an idea what that sounds like alone. Kind of see what I'm talking about, where it's alone it sounds kind of weird, but together in the mix it's like, oh shit, that's why he put it in. And I feel like with this sample in particular, I was playing with something that could be like, I guess like a really loud part and then a really quiet part. I wanted the sample to kind of have a section where you would hear everything come together, and then a section where everything kind of died down and you couldn't hear exactly what's going on. So just to give you like an example, or not that you couldn't hear what's going on, but more of like when things kind of get removed and you're kind of left with like silence in comparison to the section before it. So, and that's kind of what you get here. So it's like that section where it gets really loud and then it gets quiet, and you kind of remove elements just to kind of have like that contrast. So after that build up, you kind of go into, I guess, what would be called like the verse. And it just has like, this section here has a lead sound that emulates the melody that was in the section before it. It's real subtle, it's kind of like low in the mix, but it just kind of like reminds you of like that melody that was before it, just to kind of tie everything together. Let's see, I didn't do much to that either. Oh, here we go. So I might have talked about this plugin in the past in previous breakdowns. Outer Space is, in my opinion, like if you don't have the real space echo unit, I love this joint. Like this plugin is the shit. It's a lot of fun, and it just sounds like a space echo. It does really cool things, and it makes sound vintage. I've never worked with the real space echo, and I'm willing to bet it probably sounds better than this, but because I don't have a space echo, this is what I'm happy with at the moment. So I would look into this. I forgot who makes this. Oh, Audio Thing, which I think Audio Thing is the company that makes reels. Yeah, Audio Thing. They make amazing plugins. All right, so I think that might be it. So again, like the main section, the verse part, and then the main section comes in to close out the sample. And then why is this? All right, let's see what this is. So it looks like I added the pad again here. Yeah, so this pad was in the main part, and I just repeated that little section. That might have been an accident, to be honest. I just dropped it in, but if it works, it works. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This sample is pretty straightforward. I carry that theme of keeping things simple. I try not to overthink things. I try to keep things kind of bare bones, because again, like these are samples that I want people to take and build on. But if you don't feel like adding anything, if you just add drums, you're pretty much set. I can play it from the beginning to kind of give you an idea of what everything sounds like together. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know with this new pack, I try to go in the theme of kind of pop driven. I feel like pop records right now are, you know, they've always been like that, where they're just taking over. And that sound is, in my opinion, I've always struggled to make that sound because it's never been like my go-to like palette of sounds and palette of like tones and textures. But with this pack, I tried it to like meld both what I love to make and what's popular right now in the market and like the music industry. If I could name artists that I could hear on top of this, I can hear Justin Bieber on this. Tell me why. I don't know why I hear Wale on this with like the right drums. I can hear Drake on this. I can hear a lot of people. So yeah, if you guys haven't picked up the new sample pack, Galaxia, which is my 13th volume in the series, I recommend that you pick it up. I'm really proud of it. It was the product of me just coming out of a beat block and creative block. I was struggling with coming up with ideas, but I finally, for whatever reason, broke out of it. I don't know what happened, but I just caught a flow. I started making samples again, and ideas were flowing, and it just worked. And before I knew it, I had a solid body of work. Threw it together, and I thought it came out dope. I hope you guys really enjoy it. If you guys aren't sold on the sounds yet, I have a preview on my channel. You can go through each of the samples to see if it's a sample pack that you would be interested in. I would love to know what you guys want to see next on the channel. I know you guys always tell me that you want to see like a process, see me make a sample from beginning to end. I tried doing that, but I think I'm going to keep that exclusive to Instagram Live. But eventually I'll make a video like that. But if there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and then stay tuned for the next one. And thank you for watching.